Hi, I'm Master Sergeant Eric Gaertner, military training leader from the 17th Training Support Squadron.
And I'm Technical Sergeant Sarah Gaertner, your cybersecurity officer from the 17th Training Support Squadron. And today we're going to talk about self-discipline.
We're going to talk about how to continue to apply the tools gained in basic training to reach goals and be able to continue success throughout your Air Force career.
So we're going to talk about two disciplines that are really strong in this lesson. We're going to talk about instilled discipline and self-discipline. So as for instilled discipline, it involves nurturing, setting expectations and boundaries, and fostering with a sense of professional responsibility. Teaching to set aside desires to fulfill your obligations is the key. And then our self-discipline. Self-discipline is a form of freedom from laziness and lethargy, freedom from the expectations and demands of others, freedom from weakness and fear and doubt. Self-discipline allows a person to feel their individuality, their inner strength, and their talent. So for our disciplines, Airman Morissette, what do you feel that when you listen to those quotes, how do you interpret those?
Well, I interpret them by, when I hear just discipline in general, I believe it's doing what you're supposed to do, no matter what time, when you need to do it at that moment. Do not hesitate, do not lollygag, get it done. And so it takes someone to help instill that discipline within us, because naturally humans are naturally lazy. And so we need to have someone else help instill that discipline within us. So then that way we can carry that self-discipline.
How about you, Airman Kroplis?
I see it as a way to where doing what you know is right, even though you want to do something else, such as saying no to the extra slice of pizza or pie at the DFAC when you know you have to make fitness numbers coming up, or whether it be taking an extra hour or two studying for your class over playing games with your friends or something along those lines.
So you both have been here for some time, a few months now. What is missing in regards to self-discipline now that you're in technical training?
Well, I have a hard time doing PT on my own. In basic, we did PT nearly every day, and now I'm in technical school. I feel like I can pretty much be lazy, but I know that is not what I'm supposed to be. I'm not supposed to, just sit around. I'm supposed to get up, because I have a responsibility not just to myself, but to my other wingmen to keep that physical fitness up.
Same lines, PT is definitely a big one. Another one is just down to the little things, such as getting up in the morning, being on time, 15 minutes early, definitely on time. But you don't have the constant motivation or the threat of getting yelled at. You have to kind of do it on your own, and you might say, hey, I could sit around for a little while longer before I get to wherever I need to be, but you just need to be able to do it on your own.
How do you maintain self-discipline here in tech training and beyond in the future?
You have to be able to do it because the mission's at stake, especially in our jobs. We have to be able to be on time, be reliable, because people get hurt. The mission is always the main priority, and we have to do that over our own desires or needs.
Airman Morissette.
Piggybacking off of what Airman Kroplis said, we need to put others before ourselves, because everyone else is relying on us to get the job done, to get to where we need to be. So we can't just say, well, just because I don't feel like being here, I'm not going to be there. No, you have to be there, because you never know what the situation is until you arrive.
Right. And as my wife was just about to say, in regards to self-discipline and meeting those expectation goals, the Air Force has a special publication just for that. Air Force Handbook 362618, also known as the Little Brown Book. And it details all the roles, responsibilities, and expectations for all tiers of enlisted leaders. Particularly for the junior enlisted tier, it specifically says, focus on adapting to military requirements, being part of the profession of arms, achieving occupational proficiency, and learning how to be highly productive members of the Air Force. What do you two think that means to you guys?
I think the book was made as a reminder, especially we can check ourselves in it once in a while, or even someone that we work with closely or know might be able to point out and say, hey, you're slipping a little bit from regulations. Let's see if we correct that.
Everybody needs guidance every now and then. The book, the Little Brown Book, is just a quick on-hand way to get that guidance.
How does it help you reach your airmanship goals in relation to self-discipline? Because it outlines what you're supposed to do, not just at your rank, but going for higher up.
It helps me think of what I really need to take care of, and that I really need to be able to focus on this, because what I do now is going to affect the future. Whether or not I am able to meet my goals and achieve job proficiency now is going to affect how well I do my job in the future.
I see it as a way to look forward to see responsibilities down the road and maybe start to practice some of those principles ahead of time. That way you're prepared when the time comes.
So why do you think our leaders decided to outline our responsibilities in relation to self-discipline using the enlisted force structure?
Well, structure is very helpful for anything regarding discipline. You always need structure. For example, a schedule. We have schedules at BMT because we need to know exactly what we're doing and when we're doing it. So just being able to understand what needs to get done, well, it's always a quick way to say, hey, remember the structure here, it matters, and that's going to help instill that discipline for us.
I see it as a way to improve upon things that may not have been done as well in the past, because if everything was working smoothly, it probably wouldn't have been made. But this way, it helps to remind everyone what they have to do, what they need to do further down the line.
So from self-discipline to structured outline to reaching our goals, we know what we need to do. That self-discipline is being able to get there yourself without somebody harping on you to do that. But obviously, there's going to be hardships, adversity. You're going to make mistakes. I'll turn that over to my wife.
So in order to go through self-discipline, you got to reach some goals to be able to say that you made it to the top. So in order to reach that goal, we had some items that just to kind of jog your memory to get into how to get into it. You want to start small. Starting small means getting something, you don't want to jump into really big waters. You want to, tread lightly to get to that goal. You want to learn your motivators. What helps you get up to do that? You need to think of something that would help strive to get to that goal. You need to create a routine, something that, to get there, you got to start getting into knowing the way to get there. Learn to say no. You got to learn to not always be a yes man. You got to have some thought to say, no, that's not right, or no, that's, just, you got to have a no. You got to have a line that you got to stop at. And then you want to take up an activity just to remind yourself, why do I like doing this? Or why do I need to reach to it? It's just to help or remind you and reinforce that idea. And of course, look for inspiration. Maybe you have to look and see if there's somebody there that, because that person did it, I want to strive to be that person. Well, those are some of the things that help you to reach it through all the trials that you might come across in life.
So I'm going to ask each of you to share a story for the video. How do you respond, learn, and grow from past mistakes or moments of adversity? Well,
one of the things that I constantly have issues with is being able to say no. I tend to be a yes man, and as I learned when I was in college, actually, that you can't always say yes to everything. A lot of that stems from knowing what to prioritize, because I would get asked out, hey, let's go drinking, let's do this, let's go to the bar today, knowing that I had a test in the morning and that I should kind of go to sleep now, or I should study. I had to prioritize studying to hanging out with my friends, and my friends were upset with me because there was some stuff that went down that I could have stopped, but it came down to what I had to do and what they wanted me to do.
I use past moments, mistakes, setbacks as motivation. I know a lot of people say it, the successful people get there. They don't get there on the first try. There's always setbacks. It always fails. You just got to learn and grow from those. And that's the reason why I'm here. Whether it's your fault or someone else's, I had a job before. It didn't work out. They ended up doing layoffs. It motivated me to get a better future for both myself and my family, and that is 100% the reason why I'm in the situation I'm in now.
So actually, I want to share a story of my own for self-discipline and overcoming adversity and hardship. So about 8 years ago, I met my wife in Korea. She had an assignment to Hawaii. I had to play off the assignment cycle, got Japan. So going to be separated for a bit. We got engaged in between my assignments. Didn't get married until after I had signed into Japan, and my joint spouse was rejected. So obviously that was disheartening. I could have just gone to a funk, isolated myself, got depressed, but decided to use that to go after one of my goals. Just like one of the issues you mentioned earlier, I'll admit fitness isn't my specialty. So I used the hardship of being separated from my wife to pursue a fitness goal. I teamed up with one of my coworkers at the time who was big into weightlifting, and I started weightlifting with him. A few months later, got first 90 on the PT test, and been trying to maintain that since.
And then to back off that, because of all the stuff that was happening, I could also just have led to, well, he's not coming, so what do? I just freshly got married, sitting in my room, kind of was wondering, what am I going to do for the next year and a half? He's separated from me, and the only way we can do is talk on a telephone or internet or whatever is means of communication. So my sister happened to be stationed at the same places in Hawaii. So we took up traveling and kind of explored around the world to keep my motivation up, to not do something that I will regret as far as somehow getting out of the Air Force or something to that matter. So it helps to have somebody to talk to, and it keeps that discipline up. You're like, I'm in the military, you gotta show that. I mean, it is kind of depressing, but eventually we wound up here together.
So that ends our discussion. Does anyone have any questions?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So to conclude the self-discipline, I just leave you with a quote from Major Pendleton from the 14th Flying Train Wing Staff Judge Advocate. Self-discipline provides a beacon, an ideal to guide us in our daily choices. Our profession requires it in everything we do. Everything from rendering proper customs and courtesies to the most daring duties.
Thank you.